Today, I need to get my brakes with that. I was thinking about how, I think when people get into relationships or they get obsessed with someone or they always want to be up that person's ass and you can't let them be free, like you can't fuck off. Mind you, I've never been in a real relationship, so I don't know how insensitive my tone is, because I don't know how to do all that. I think it's because the way most people handle relationships, from what I've seen on the outside and from what I've kind of felt like what I could have just gotten into if I didn't not get into it, people don't know how to handle fucking relationships. And a lot of the times when people get in relationships, it's not purely for the sake of love, because we live in capitalism. It can be for wanting access to that person's body, for wanting stress relief through that person's body, wanting their resources, because we live in capitalism, wanting to fulfill this capitalistic American dream agenda, aka you need another person's finances to do that, because you can't live that dream on your own, because it's not a real fucking thing. It's fake. So a lot of times, or people get into relationships to get back at their ex, which is so fucking traumatizing for both people involved, because it's not even about you. Dear God, like, it gets so fucking bad. It's not funny like that. It's like, it's the most fucked up. It's not funny at all. It's just scary. It's scary, and people really do that. Most people don't know how to handle a fucking relationship. I don't want to handle one, which is why I'm not in one ever. I've been to the psych ward 4 fucking times, and that was just for family issues and school issues. I'll kill myself if I get into a relationship and have to deal with the shit that other people deal with all the time. I cannot do it. I can't handle it. And I'm not crazy, because they love to gaslight me and they love to say that I'm schizophrenic when I start saying shit that people don't like to hear, or I say shit that people don't want to be real. I'm not crazy, but I am crazy. I can't handle being in a relationship, and I'll be crazy. I'll send us both to a mental asylum, because I can't handle it. I can't handle the way that we structure relationships, and I can't. So I'll let the craziness loose, and I'll let it all loose, and I'll fucking scare the shit out of everyone, and I'll do all that because I can't handle it. And it's a bid for health. It's a bid for sanity to act insane when it comes to dating. To act insane when it comes to all this shit. It's a bid for health, because the way that we try to structure love in relationships, a lot of relationships are not even about love. We're so confused. We're so exploited and desperate. We're so desperate. It's a bid for health. It's a bid for your sanity if you can't be in a relationship. I kind of come to terms with that, but I was also thinking today, I think that one of the reasons why people get so obsessive and codependent in relationships, and they want to be up your ass all the fucking time, or they want to be joined at the hip with you all the time, they can't give you your space, like, it's not even about anything deep, they just want to go with you everywhere, they can't let you breathe, is because being in a relationship is inherently, you're not an individual anymore. You're inherently invalidated. You're not you anymore. You are a relationship. You're like a chimera with the other person. It's like you lose your individuality. So by default, you're always going to feel unseen. You're always going to feel invalidated as an individual, even though other aspects of you that can only be expressed through relationships can then come forth. But the way we demand, oh my fucking God, cheating. You cheated on me. You looked at another bitch. And I can do this shit too. It's not me even shaming other people. I do this so bad. You can't like be in a relationship sometimes and not be in one in other times. Like you have to like sacrifice your individuality and who you are on your own, and then you can only be yourself again when you've officially broken up. I need fresh air. I can't do it. I won't do it. I won't. And then a lot of people get strapped in with kids and joint finances and a mortgage and a house. And if I have to live with a man and I have to wake up every fucking day and there's a man in my bed, I can't. There's going to be someone else in my bed. Like, even Frances, if Frances has her own bed, but she sleeps on the foot of my bed. Imagine an actual partner in my bed every fucking night. Like, it's my room. No. It's crazy. I can imagine someone else going through my phone. I wouldn't be able to write down all my ideas and all the thoughts that I have in my note app, or take weird pictures and save screenshots of stuff I care about if someone else wanted my phone. Like, I would feel humiliated all the time. I would not be a creative genius. And I know I am. Like, not even trying to flex. I know I'm a creative genius. I listen to my own music more than I listen to anyone else's. Like, I know. I wouldn't be able to do any of that. I wouldn't be able to have the creative process if I was in a relationship and I had to answer to someone else. If I have to give a fuck what a man's family thinks of me, I don't even give a fuck what my own family thinks of me. Boy, I wouldn't be a full-fledged human. But I was thinking the reason why people get so codependent in relationships, they're always vying for your attention, and it feels like it's never enough, is because we inherently have to sacrifice our individual self and our individual relationship with ourself, and then put our relationship with another person above our own. And yes, we do. They make all this self-help stuff about how to not be codependent, but it's never going to manifest that way. It never manifests that way. And then on top of that, look at the world that we live in. Almost everyone I've ever fucking met has some form of a bad childhood and a bad background and mother and father wounds that make them choose the quote-unquote wrong partner. And all the ways that this world trains us to be the ideal specimen is just how they train us to be a slave to capitalism. So the people that they say are good partners are not good partners. I can't do it. I can't do that to myself. I just fucking won't. I can't. But I think of people who I met I think I feel a bond to people that I don't even see all the time, or I don't hear from all the time. And there's not much pain involved in it, but I actually do feel validated by them. But it's because I'm seeing them. I'm not in a relationship with them. I'm seeing them as an individual. I know that they have their loneliness and they have their moods and they have all of these unique, I guess it's a shared human experience. Just all these more delicate, unable to handle pressure of life. Like they have all these eccentricities. They have all these shortcomings that are considered shortcomings in the context of a relationship, being relationship material. But as an individual, they're not shortcomings. It's just them being a human. And I feel seen by them, and they feel seen by me. And I feel like that's why they're not obsessed with me, and they don't stalk me all the time. Or they're not trying harder and harder to be in a friendship or a relationship or then a marriage or whatever else with me and trying to be up my ass all the time, because they already feel seen as an individual. So that is kind of satiated. And it feels more true. It feels more real, especially when I meet other people like me who can be so, I don't even want to be aware of myself sometimes in my own isolation, because I'm really fucking weird. If I was judging myself from an outside perspective, I would think I'm fucking really weird in my isolation. Even when it's not part of a creative process, I can be really weird. Because when you're alone in your isolation, you don't even be aware of yourself. Like, and from the context of being relationship material, the way I act in my isolation, I'm like the opposite. You'd think I was someone from the Russian sleep experiment. That thing with giant eyes that's like cradling itself with its weird claw hands. And yeah, but when I meet other people like me and I can pick up on that, like I feel validated, like, oh, they're like that too in isolation. I feel so seen and they feel so seen that we don't even need to be up each other's ass trying to be in a relationship and a marriage and eating dinner at the same table every day, going to church, like taking pictures of everyone on Facebook and saying, oh, you don't even fucking see me in this relationship, now I need to be in your family system and like in your joint bank account. Like you can't get rid of them because neither of you feel seen in the context of a relationship, because a relationship by design is going to cut you off from your solitude, your sovereignty, and you're always going to try to be seen as you are, but you can't. It's like a flaw in the design. Ugh. And no wonder there's so much pain. There's so much pain in divorces. Even if you married for money. Is this on? Ugh. Even if you married for money. A lot of the times you can't just marry for money and not give anything in return. They're going to want sex in return. They're going to, anyone you have sex with is going to create some kind of tie, some kind of bond to. And so if it's just for money, see, I don't even know if I could be a prostitute. Even though that's like one of the personas that I have in my art, like a femme de la nuit. But like it was an energy. I'm not actually a prostitute. I think this is why I came across a few women a few years ago who introduced me to the term that marriage is just unpaid prostitution. Probably because a lot of us marry for money, because the way the world is structured, we can't survive without money, and women didn't have rights not too long ago, so women had to marry for money. And when we look even back further in history, marriage was originally for families gaining the assets and joining forces with the other family and gaining their land and their chickens. It wasn't about love. And look how they still do marriage in places like India or wherever. Child marriages, because no one in their fucking right mind, no one in their right mind with a fully developed frontal cortex, which doesn't happen until about 35. It's not 25, it's about 35. No one in their fucking right mind would want to get married when you look at what it truly is in the fine print, what it's really for. No one would want it, so they have to have children. They have to have children doing it. Ugh. And I can also imagine, actually I really can't imagine at this point, what if I wanted to book a flight and I had to ask another person, can we go here? I wouldn't even be able to travel the way that I do. I wouldn't be able to book a flight and tell my job, oh, so my family's getting married in another state. I have to go for this amount of time. I would have to sit next to someone I'm already conjoined at the hip trying to escape from on a plane. And they have to know where I'm going all the time. I wouldn't be able to just walk down the street and wear whatever I want and go wherever I want, even if I'm not doing shit, just wandering around. And because I like to ride the subways for no reason when I travel, I would have to tell another person that. And then it's going to seem weird if another person's there with me doing all this weird shit that I do, just riding around for no reason. Then we're going to have to overcompensate. Or even if I was traveling with friends, I would feel peer pressured to go to clubs and drink alcohol, which I don't drink alcohol. I would feel pressured to take Instagram pictures or look a certain way, or I think a lot of it boils down to who you sleep in a bed with. Because that's when we're technically the most vulnerable and close to death anyway, is when we're in our sleep and our subconscious is so active. I think a lot of wiring as to why we start living the ways that we do depends on if we're sleeping alone or if we're with another person. But yeah, I would hate to be married, because then I would always be thinking about getting divorced. I would hate to be in a relationship, because then I would always be thinking about what comes next. We're breaking up. I would hate that. I also think it's kind of unwise to strive to be with the person that you want above everyone else, because what happens when you get them? Like, you peak and then what? Now all there's left to do is lose them. I can't handle any of that shit. I know that I can't. And like, I can be possessive over people. I'm with this with friends sometimes too. It's not because it's who I am, it's because of how I've been trained. Socially, it's how I've been trained. Like, I can't even imagine. I lock my door to my room whenever I leave. No one is going in my fucking room. I'm not sleeping next to someone else in my room. Like, that's my room. There's no way in fuck it's happening. It's not even something I'm going to compromise on later. and then whine about like, oh, it's so unfair. It's like, it's not happening. Like, there's no way in hell I can't. I think sometimes it's because I have 12th house placements and my moon is in my 12th house and my moon is in Virgo. I'm a hermit. I need to be away from people. I need to have my solitude. I can't just constantly absorb other people and be connected with other people. And I bond with people more through acknowledging our shared isolation, our shared hermit tendencies, even though it seems kind of like it doesn't make sense, because when you're a hermit, like when you're not you're not around other people, no one else is there with you. But I still feel more connected to the people who are like loners and they still have that side of themselves intact. I feel more connected to them than I do with people who have basically sacrificed themselves to be in a chimeric relationship. And now you have to worry about, is this micro cheating? Did he look at another bitch? What's his porn history? Is he watching porn? Does his mother like another bitch more than me, so I don't feel like I'm part of the family anymore? I don't even know what kind of shit people think about when they're in a relationship. Ugh. I don't want to. And really, I think with the way that I am, if I was in a relationship the way that I've seen other people do it, I'd feel violated every day of my life. I would feel so fucking violated. And I have clients that I see now, and they're all older than me. It's technically for medical reasons, but they open up to me about their lives a lot. All of the ones who are divorced have some kind of traumatic story, and marriage was traumatizing for them. And a lot of them felt raped, and a lot of them felt exploited and used. And then some of them who got divorced, the person goes and gets with a younger partner, and just did so much trauma. Like, I have enough trauma, and I've always envisioned, like, my childhood was really fucking hard. I already felt oppressed and abused and all that shit. I always envisioned that my adulthood would be like my liberation. Like, I already know what it's like to feel like you're in bondage, or like you're powerless and life sucks. I never imagined that I was gonna spend the next half of my life being trapped again. Like, I always imagined that as an adult I would be liberated. Like, and then I see the kind of shit that this world is presenting me with. Getting married? And sometimes men present me with, like, being in a relationship with you. Like, do you know how fucking hard my life was when I was a kid? Like, and then I'm supposed to be with you after all this shit I've been through? I could have died when I was 15. And then I'm supposed to do this shit? All the shit I went through, and I'm supposed to see, I'd rather live at home still. and just observe how fucked up my parents' relationship is as a constant reminder of what's waiting for me if I accept what this world is trying to convince me that I deserve. Like, I have to be, when I'm surrounded by observing people who I think have just sometimes I think if I forget what it's really like, I'll settle for a knight in tinfoil armor, and I'll forget all the dirty, ugly truths I know about the reality of things, especially for women. Because I want to forget. I don't want to be aware of all this shit. I don't want to be aware of all that I know about human nature and relationships and how bad it can get and how mentally ill you are capable of becoming. Like, sometimes, a lot of the times, if not all the times, when I'm doing better in life mentally, the first thing I want to do is forget. The first thing I want to do is not be aware of all the shit that I've been through and that I know. But then what that's going to do, since I'm so desperate to forget, I'm going to settle for a knight in tinfoil armor. And next thing I know, I'm going to be pregnant and getting my ass beat and mentally ill. And no one has physically laid hands on me in quite a while. It's been... I haven't even fought someone since, I'm going to say, early teenagehood. So I don't have any, like... I kind of forget sometimes. Like, I have repressed body somatic memory of what it was like to be physically abused or to hit someone else physically, but I forgot what it's like, kind of. Like, when life is pretty good for me, I forget what it's actually capable of being like. And then I want to jump into some fantasy situation that's going to end very badly. So I think living at home kind of keeps me aware. And I have to kind of continuously study human nature and think about things like this and all this stuff, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to survive living at home. But at the same time, I'm not the one in a marriage. I'm not the one married. So there is a sense of detachment. I don't want to get my ass beat, and I don't want to kill anyone. I don't want to shoot a man. I don't want to beat his ass, and I will. I don't want to get involved in all that again and have it fuck up my mind. And it would fuck up my mind. I don't want to live like that. And I think I do sound condescending, but I'm not even trying to be like truly condescending to other people. Because sometimes you can't help but get sucked into those kinds of situations. And this world sets it up in a way where you're lucky if you're not getting exploited. You're lucky if you are intelligent enough to avoid certain situations. Because we should not even have to be so intelligent that we're able to detect... we're able to be aware of all this shit that I'm aware of. We shouldn't have to. So it's inherently traumatizing to even think along these lines. Because no one should even have to. But I do. I shouldn't always have to pet my dog on both my dogs on their head before I leave and always say, I'll see you later today instead of goodbye, because I remember last time I did that, my father went and killed my puppy and I never saw them again. And I convinced myself it's because I said goodbye instead of I'll see you later. I shouldn't have to be aware how to be so gentle to animals and children and all the ways that I can impact them negatively. But I am aware of it because I've had really bad experiences regarding animals and pets before, and being abused as a child, and seeing my siblings and other vulnerable people being abused. I shouldn't have to know how to be as good with children as I am. Oh my fucking God. See, I've already decided I'm not going to have children. Even though, of course, I want to. My biological urge is to have children because I just turned 28 and I'm very fertile. My cycle is very regular. My body wants to have a child, but I know better. And I can't handle my conscience. I can't. Ugh. And I do have a very maternal side. I do feel very protective. And I care a lot. But I don't want to be someone's physical mother. I can't. I take my own child self side. I still feel in tune with my own inner child, my own child self. I would never want to have those things happen to me that happened to me. And some of them were just because I exist. And me being as sensitive as I am about things, I don't want to subject anyone else to that if I can help it. Sometimes I wonder, because I can be pretty messy and I can be seen as kind of irresponsible and childish, even with the way that I talk. But it's because I decided I don't want to have kids. And look how hard this world pushes women to have kids. Even when we think there's the shit like the 4B movement or whatever it's called, they're still heavily pushing women to have children, to get married and have children, and center our lives around motherhood because they just want to use women as baby machines. And the quality of treatment women get is not good. Even that whole trad wife shit, it's still not good. It's still seeing women as property and wanting to provide all the resources for her so she can't leave. That's what it feels like to me. I think even when I come across people who have like kind of a catty or bitter attachment to me, it's probably because I validate a side of themselves that is still there. Their inner child, their right to be childish, their right to be quote unquote irresponsible with money or impulsive or not thinking about the consequences or wanting to just book a flight and go wherever they want to go, and or just blowing all their money, or just whatever I bring up in them that this world is trying to crush in them so that they can be more better slaves for keeping the head count up and not breaking any rules and blah blah blah. I don't even think people hate me deep down. I think I just bring up, or I mirror a side in them that's been truly crushed. And it's not too late though, because sometimes I come across this. I've done this in the past. I've come across people who represent a side of myself or remind me of a side of myself that I feel like it's too late for, or I feel like has been ruined, or that I've neglected. It just takes effort to basically wabby-sabby piece that version of yourself back together, and the other person is actually just an inspiration. But with that inspiration comes a lot of buried trauma and buried pain and old emotions that you haven't reconciled with, that you've just tried to repress and get rid of and outsmart and be more mature than. Like one of the ladies at my job, this is just an example. One of the ladies at my job, when I got back from France, at my job, she backed her car out, and my car was on one side of the street, and her car was in like a T. She basically reverse T-boned my car, but she was just pulling out of a parking space, so the impact wasn't that big. And she dented my car, and I guess she would have been liable for whatever it was. And I said, I have to call my mom. I'll have my mom help me with this, because I don't know anything about cars and all that stuff, and then I'll get back to you. And then she said something like, oh, I wish my mom was still here. And then since I go to that place to work every day, sometimes I run into her, and I can tell, like, she sees a version of herself in me that comes with a lot of sadness and pain, and the version of herself that still needs her mom, that still needs to call her mom, that doesn't know what she's doing. And it's like, it's an inspiration. It's like a whole transmutation process over these past few months. Sometimes I also think that we manifest situations where we run into certain people, or we have an experience even with strangers, and that person kind of reminds us of a version of ourselves that needs attention. Like, I guess in her case, the version of herself that still needed her mother, even though her mother passed away. But yeah. Sometimes, and when I take clients sometimes who are older, but they remind me of a version of myself that I still want intact, even if I don't fucking like those clients as people and they're rude, like this lady who I just got done seeing like an hour ago. She can be so fucking rude and messy, but she reminds me of a version of myself that I kind of want to keep intact, aka the artist version of myself, because she's messy, because she always has art supplies all over her apartment, and it's a mess, and she can be so rude. But then I also think, like, damn, like, artists are messy. Artists can be very crass and impolite, like, and I kind of feel inspired. Like, I want to remain an artist no matter what phase of life that I'm in. And she has a little dog that's like her child too, like I do. I want to keep that version of myself intact, so I feel kind of inspired, but at the same time I feel really triggered. I also notice it's really hard for me to keep clients who are married, because I can't relate and I don't really want to. Yep. I want to go back to these places in Europe, and I just want to walk around in the streets. And I just want to wander around, and I just want to go there. Even though I can't really say get lost there and wander around, because I have to be even more diligent about where I am and whether I'm on time or not, because I don't speak the language. But yeah.